It is that time of year, baseball fans. Football season is over. The Super Bowl's done. Obviously, hockey trade deadline's coming up and all that crazy stuff's about too. I wouldn't say wind down because in the playoffs it's kind of getting crazier, but you guys know what I mean. And you wouldn't know with the weather outside in Toronto, but baseball season is upon us. And spring training Blue Jays baseball gets going on Saturday at 1:05 p.m. against Pittsburgh Pirates. And if you guys have been around here before, you know how this whole series goes. Spring training, I do a video once per week breaking down the past week's games, any notable games from certain players, any storylines that we've heard throughout spring training through that week. I apologize if I sound a little off, guys. I got some water going here. It's not the greatest water, let's be honest. But I've been fighting something for the last few days. But I'm trying to push through for you. Spring training, I'm not going to sit here and talk about possible rotations for the season, lineups for the season. My thought heading into spring training, and that's what this video is going to be about, is who am I looking forward to seeing? And that's an easy question to answer, at least to start. It's the new guys. Are you very excited to see Chris Bassett, Eric Swanson, Brandon Belt, Kevin Kiermaier, Dalton Varsho? Absolutely. I'm jacked up to watch these guys play. Does it mean anything if they do anything? No, it doesn't. But to see them in the Jays uniform, get used to seeing the at-bats, get used to seeing the defense in the outfield, and I think that's where the key is going to be for the spring. For guys like Varsho and Kiermaier, and George Springer, is being able to get out there in the outfield with those three guys and get used to it. And that's going to be the important part. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the guys that you don't really know, or you kind of forgot about, that you're excited to see. Now, Jays fans, this video is going to be not that long because I want it to be about you guys and going nuts in the comments about who you are excited to see come spring. Look, we all know how spring training works, right? First few days, you're excited. It's Blue Jay baseball. You see some of the familiar names. You're all excited. Then by week 2, you're like, okay, let's get this thing going. So I want to hear who you're excited to actually see come spring training. I got a few names here that I want to give to you guys. So we'll start with the first guy I have on the list here, Hagen Danner. A former Blue Jays catching prospect, turned pitcher, did some pretty good things for the Jays organization last year, has come up through the rankings, and is a bullpen guy. Now, we all know what the Jays bullpen is going to be like this year. There's going to have some question marks. It's going to be one of the questions for the majority of the season for the Blue Jays. And he's a guy that could, at some point, impact that pen. We've seen in years past, if guys come out of the bullpen in spring training and make a name for themselves, they can make the team. Maybe not right out of the camp, but be one of the first 1 or 2 call-ups. We saw it with Roberto Osuna back in 2015. We saw it with Miguel Castro back in 2015. It can happen. So for a guy like Hagen Danner, let's see what you got. The biggest name of all that everybody is waiting to see, but with no expectations, but some sort of excitement, is Nate Pearson. We've heard the signs of through winter ball and what he's done throughout the winter and all that stuff, and he's back being healthy, and you've seen all the pictures that the Jays Instagram and Twitter have posted, and we're all just waiting and seeing on Nate Pearson. He could be a huge X factor if he's healthy. Before we go any further, guys, I got a question for you. It's something I've pondered today. Would you guys be interested in this page having a TikTok page? Obviously, myself running it, and instead of doing things, in video format like this, whenever news drops or whenever I'm thinking something or I have a question for you guys, I'll open up TikTok wherever the hell I am, whether it's on the road, or not on the road, you guys know what I mean, when it's out and about, or just around the house, or wherever, and post it. Get you guys interacted. Answer questions. Do all that stuff. Would you guys be interested in a little TikTok page? I have one created, but I haven't done anything with it. Would you guys be interested in that starting up? I'm going to mention that in a few videos to come, because I want to see if it gets traction. Obviously, TikTok's a huge platform, and maybe we'll try and expand it. Who knows? But I want to get your guys' thoughts down below about that. Let's move forward. Yusfer Zuleta. What a name this guy has. We heard all the hype last year, right? Power arm. You know, he can start. He can come out of the bullpen. Really hard, really good player. And there was a lot of talk over him last season. It didn't amount to much. I believe he got hurt midway through the season or something like that, and he didn't pitch a lot down the stretch. So there was kind of a stunt there. But he's a guy, again, like a Hagen Danner. Obviously, Zuleta is more of a household name. So could he be a guy that takes a bullpen spot, right? Come opening day or a week or two into the season because someone's gone down with an injury or tweaked something. It's possible. I want to see him. Addison Barger. If you follow the Jays hard, as I did, and probably a lot of you guys did throughout the season, we heard a lot about Addison Barger this year, tearing up Double-A. His numbers in Triple-A, I believe he played in Triple-A, started the year, he was really good, and we're like, he's a left-handed bat, and we're like, okay, this guy could be a little interesting, a little bit of an impact player this season for the Jays. He's a guy I want to see moving forward, and I'm excited to see throughout the spring. Now, one guy with a huge question mark is Orelvis Martinez. We heard all the hype going into last season. We saw the flipping spring training stuff where he's hitting nukes all over the place, and it's exciting. Then he goes to Double-A New Hampshire, and he hits a hair above the Mendoza line. I think it was like a 208 average, something along those lines. Hit a lot of home runs, but struck out a ton. So there's a lot of holes in that swing. Going into the offseason, did he improve? How did those go? What does he look like heading into this year? Now, does the spring training tell us anything? Kind of, right? It's a good idea. But again, you want to see this guy throughout the season progress and make that way to AAA. And who knows, if he fires through the rankings, and if the Jays have some injuries, who knows? Or it could be a trade piece down the road. We have no idea. But no matter what, Orelvis Martinez is going to be a big name for Jays fans. And of course, the biggest one of all. The one Jays fans have heard about countless times last year, Ricky Tiedemann. We've seen the video with him throwing a bullpen session beside Alek Manoah. I don't know about you guys, but does his pitching style look a lot like Ryan Borucki? Though, again, he's at least on paper and whatnot, he's a lot more talented than Ryan Borucki was. But Ricky Tiedemann, he's a guy that I think a ton of Jays fans want to get a good eye on. What does he end up looking like? How does things go? Does he have a really good spring? They're not going to force his hands. I'll tell you, look, I'm going to tell you right now, and this is where I'm going to wrap it up at this. Jason, Ricky Tiedemann is not going to start the year with the Jays. Period. And he could go 5 starts and not allow a run in spring training. Doesn't matter. He will not start the year with the Jays. Remember what Alek Manoah and Simeon Woods Richardson did back when they were in spring training for the first time? And they were locking down the Yankees and everything was looking great? Where did they start the minor leagues? Ricky Tiedemann is not going to pitch with the Jays, at least to start the season. Could he, like Pearson, like Zuleta, like all these, be X factors down the stretch out of the bullpen? Or if Kikuchi is downright abysmal, or Mitch White can't throw a beach ball, then he could be a guy to slot in there if things are going well? Sure. But for Ricky Tiedemann, I'm very excited to see him in game form live on TV, of course, for the first time. And what he looks like. Jays fans, again, I didn't want to make this too crazy of a video. It was just about 9 minutes, probably about 10 minutes by the time I'm done. But Blue Jays baseball is back. And the first 3 games for the Blue Jays is this weekend, Saturday. Today's Thursday. We have 2 more sleeps before Blue Jay baseball returns to our television set. And it is Yusei Kikuchi getting the start in game 1 there on Saturday. I think a lot of Jays fans are excited to see Yusei. And I am too. You know, we saw what he did last year. It can't get worse than that. Let's be real. It just can't. We've seen bearded Yusei Kikuchi. Does that do anything? Probably not. But after that horrible year, you're going to have to put him out there. So how does he look like in his first spring training contest? Like I said, does it mean anything? No, it doesn't. But for him, it's confidence. So if he goes out there and dominates, it's nothing but good things for Yusei Kikuchi. The next 2 starters, at least that are scheduled, is Zach Thompson. If you have not seen on Blue Jays Center, I actually had a chance to chat with Zach Thompson earlier on in the offseason about coming over to the Blue Jays and all that stuff. Trent Thornton is going to be the other one getting the start. Yeah, we still have Trent Thornton. Totally forgot. So those are the three guys going in the first bit. You're not going to see any Chris Bassett, Alec Manoah, Jose Barrios, all those guys. You're not seeing them yet. But you get to see these other guys that, could make impacts this season. All right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and are jacked up for Blue Jay baseball to get going again, because look, what that means for me, it means the weather's starting to turn. Well, at least it will start to turn. And it'll start to get warmer, and the winter coats will be put away, and the ballpark and the dome will be open. It's just lots of good vibes coming this summer. Hopefully for the Toronto Blue Jays as well. All right? So you know what, guys? Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Comment down below your thoughts on the video. Again, guys, you're interested in seeing this spring training for the Toronto Blue Jays. And also, like I mentioned earlier, TikTok stuff. What do you think? You guys want to see it? I can do some live stuff, postings in the background, play around with it a little bit. It'd be a lot of fun. But if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments. Twitter and Instagram links are down below. Discord link is down below as well. And I will talk to you guys Leafs edition, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock puck drop at home against the Minnesota Wild. And for the Raptors, they're back in action tonight. First game after the All-Star break. Raptors at home, taking on the Pelicans at Scotiabank Arena. All right? And for the Blue Jays, I'll be talking to you guys Wednesday, every single Wednesday. Jays edition, wrapping up the first little bit of spring training games. All right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and are jacked up for baseball season. We'll talk to you guys then.